What's in the box? What's in the fucking box?
All right, welcome everybody to the first What's in the Box. Today we're going to look at Dr. Arcadius. He's a Minion warlock. We're just starting a Journeyman League here in Ottawa, and I've decided to go with Pharaoh for my Journeyman experience. And the alternate battle box that I've started with is the Dr. Arcadius battle box. The alternate box is Dr. Arcadius and a pair of warhogs. So after this video, you can take a look next at the video where I'm going to see what's in the box of warhogs. And for those, we'll actually have a treat because I've got the plastic and the metal battle box, and we'll be able to give, or model box, and I'll be able to take a look at the pair of them. So if you're new to War Machine and you've just bought your battle box, you've already opened it up and you've seen that weird black plastic tray with all the cards stuck at the bottom. But I'm sure when you walked into the game store, you saw many blister packs like this one hanging on the wall. So whenever you're getting a Privateer Press blister pack, if you're not exactly sure what the model is, a good thing to do is to look just above the blister itself, where you'll actually be able to see the caster, or whatever the solo or unit's name is, and then right below it where it is and the PIP number. The PIP number, the PIP number, is the Privateer Press information point, and that number is always going to be the same for every model. So if you're looking for a Dr. Arcadius, you know that he is going to be 75028, and you can just flip through them, and even if you don't know what the warlock looks like, 75028 is going to be your man. So let's take a look inside this and see what we have. Now, most blister packs are going to be very similar. Underneath the advertising on the back, you're actually going to have the cards. Now, with a warlock or warcaster, you're going to have a pair of cards. We'll take a look at those in a second. We'll get rid of the advertisement. You also get a base of whatever size the model is. And then usually behind this foam, and sometimes on top of it, you'll find all the parts for the model. So we're just going to pull out Arcadius and all his bits, and we'll get rid of this plastic, and we'll take a look at what we have. So first thing we'll get out of the way are his cards. So this is a quick look at Dr. Arcadius cards. As you can see, he's a Fury 7 warlock, which is nice. He's got lots of fury. Whenever you have a caster, of course, you'll have a pair of cards. You'll have one that's the character card, and on the back are any special rules for the character. And then on the other, you'll have the spell card, which has all the spells on one side. And then on the other side, you'll have his feat. In this case, his feat is Monster Mayhem. And I won't read it out loud here, but basically all of your War Beasts Frenzy, which can be awesome because they get to do other stuff that turn. So let's just get these cards out of the way, and we'll take a look at the model itself. So Dr. Arcadius is a small base. So we have the standard Privateer Press small base. Now this is, as far as I can tell, the third generation of small base, and the way you can tell that is, it's kind of hard to see on camera, but the inside of it is stippled. It basically looks like there's a little bit of dirt texture on it, and when you flip over the base, you'll see the Privateer Press logo and the Privateer Press copyright information on the bottom. Again, it's hard to see that on a black base. I'm going to rotate it a bit to see if I can catch it on camera. So we've had a question from Mift Gorax, because he's not here right now and he likes to feed me questions. Any tips on things you can use an old blister for? Never, ever throw out these blister packs. These blister packs are amazing. I have used them for things like a wet palette. I've used them for mixing paint. I've used them for putting resin in. You know, God forbid, you could actually store a model in it. They are an incredibly useful piece of plastic that you get free with every model. So let's move on to Dr. Arcadius himself. Dr. Arcadius is quite a simple model. He comes in 3 pieces. You have Dr. Arcadius himself. You have Dr. Arcadius's hand. And you have his other hand with his gun. I will give you the name. That's his combat syringe, which is neat because it has 3 different effects. It can do anesthesia. A living model damaged by this attack with this weapon becomes stationary for a round. Brain damage. A model damaged by this attack with this weapon cannot cast spells, upkeep spells, or use animus for 1 round. And mind control serum. If a living enemy, non-warcaster, non-warlock model is damaged by an attack with this weapon, immediately after that attack is resolved, take control of that model. You can immediately make a full advance with it, followed by a normal melee attack. Then mind control serum expires. The enemy model cannot be targeted by free strikes during this movement, which is absolutely great for grabbing a enemy weapon master that is standing next to a warlock and turning him around and just smashing him into a caster. It can be the most satisfying thing you've ever done. If anybody's ever played a domination warcaster like Epic Haley, you're doing basically the same thing. It's great. So let's take a quick look at the hand here. Now, one thing, again, if you're new to the hobby, you'll notice that we have the hand itself, but then we have these weird little metal tabs that stick off of it. When you're casting a piece of metal or plastic, you'll always have to have some way for the material to get into the mold. These are either called channels or vents, depending on what they're used for. Vents generally let the air out, and channels let the material in. So in this case, we'd have a channel and a vent. And what they do is they'd put the material in it when it would run up the channel, and then the vent would be designed so that when it's being cast in a thing called a spin caster, which you pour metal into the center and then it uses centripetal force to push the metal out through the edge of the mold, instead of you having to pressurize it, it will also give a place for the runoff to go. Now, before you assemble your model, you're always going to want to remove those, because they will get in the way of assembly. Now, also I should mention, before you even think of assembling a model like this, you should be cleaning it. Warm soapy water and an old toothbrush make a really good cleaning material for both metal and plastic miniatures. You're going to want to scrub them thoroughly and then put them into non-soapy water to rinse them off. The reason you do that is that for any of these miniatures, they are putting a thing called mold release on the mold. And the mold release is basically an oil that stops things like metal sticking to the mold. The problem is that residue is left on the metal when you're done. So it's this beautiful residue that is designed to stop anything sticking to your new metal miniature, which of course causes any number of things. From certain spray paints will actually pool. If you're spraying your metal miniature, you'll find that your base colors won't stick. It's just a mess. So that, that's a lot of talking for one little hand. So let's take a look next at his gun arm here. So again, we have the same thing. We've got Arcadius's hand here, and then we've got his combat syringe here. And I will try and give that a little bit of a turn so you can sort of see some of the detail on it. This is quite a nice miniature. I'm going to zoom the camera in, and hopefully we can get an even better look at it. We'll have to, oh, wow. Camera can go in quite far. So I'll move this guy up so that you can take, move it down a bit so you can take a good look at it. One of the things that really drew me to this model is the look of Dr. Arcadius. He's a so-so spellcaster, but he is a rarity in being a human warlock as opposed to a focuser. Outside of outside of the circle, you don't see a lot of human warcasters. And hence, yes. Nice to see you, Eldukes. All right, and so the last piece is the Warcaster's body himself. So here we have Dr. Arcadius in all his glory, with his giant coat. Try and get him up off the page a little bit so you can get a better look at him. See his gigantic coat there. And I will flip him over so you can take a look at the beautiful backpack work they've got done there. I really, really like this model. I think he's going to be a lot of fun to paint. I am no Miffed Gorax here, but he should be really neat. We'll see if we can get a shot of the good doctor's face there. The good doctor here, fluff-wise, is basically, I would say, sort of a Dr. Mengele character. He wanted to do experiments that the Signarans weren't real happy with. And so he, after washing out of the universities, he basically took up with the Pharaoh because he found that they were really easy to modify. And if you're watching live on the stream, you'll see the Warhogs a little bit later, one of the things he's modified. And if you're watching the VOD on YouTube, well then you'll hopefully see it next week. Yes, we just had a question from Belkaz. Arcadius is a warlock. One of the things I said was that he's a human warlock. So he uses the, in the RPG, they call it the Spell Weaver as opposed to the Focuser. So that is all the parts. We've had a request to get the stats and the spells that Arcadius has. Arcadius is a human. So one of the things that you'll learn when playing War Machine is that most races have a base stat line that they start with, and then if they're particularly good at something, their stat line will be changed. So Dr. Arcadius has a relatively normal human stat line with a slightly higher defense than a normal human gets. So he's a speed 6, strength 4, mat 5, rat 4, defense 15, and arm 14 with an 8-inch command radius. Because he's Fury 7, his control area, the area in which he can control his beasts, is 14 inches. As you can see, the combat syringe has a power and P+S that are both just dashes because his weapon has all those special effects. You'll notice that it is a magical weapon, though, which is really great because you can shoot at things like feral geists that are normally incorporeal. And that allows you to just have a little bit more work done with him. Now, like a lot of backline casters, if he is shooting at somebody, then you've kind of done something wrong because he's kind of in trouble. You will notice, interestingly, he does not have a melee weapon. If we look at the back of his card here, let's see if we can get that a little better into frame. He is a minion that will also work for Circle, Legion, and Scorn. Now, you might ask yourself, this is a Warcaster. How could he possibly work for Circle, Legion, and Scorn? One of the different types of games that not a lot of people play, it's definitely not a tournament game normally, is the multi-Warcaster game. So once you hit 100 points, you can start to get multiple Warcasters in a single army. In that case, you could field a Circle Warlock and Dr. Arcadius, or a Legion or Scorn Warlock. Oh, sorry, I've gotten that backwards. Thank you, Eldukes, for pointing it out. Because that is a little sword symbol as opposed to a gun symbol, he only has a melee weapon, not a ranged weapon. But again, same thing. If he's in melee, something has probably gone wrong. Quick flip to the back of his card again. You can see that he has the Pharaoh Warlock, so he can only have Pharaoh War Beasts in his group. He also has Maltreatment, which allows him to pull a Fury and add it to himself, but it does damage to the war beast. And then we have the ammo types I mentioned earlier that go on the syringe. If we flip over to the spells, you can see he's got Aggravator, which gives war beasts in his control area hyper-aggressive. Hyper-aggressive is when a model with hyper-aggressive suffers damage from an enemy attack anytime except when it is advancing. After the attack is resolved, it can immediately make one full advance directly towards the attacking model. This is great for being shot at because your beast can run across the table at the enemy. Not so good for being hit in melee. Crippling Grasp, which is everybody's favorite debuff. Target model unit suffers -2 speed, strength, def, and arm, and cannot run or make special attacks. It's amazing against a unit that you know is going to charge you. Forced Evolution. Target friendly living faction war beast gains +2 strength and defense. Nothing wrong with that. Primal Shock, which is a neat one. Choose friendly faction war beast in this model's control area. Target an enemy model within 8 inches of the chosen war beast and make a magic attack against it. The chosen war beast is the attack's point of origin. If the enemy model is hit, it suffers a damage roll with a POW equal to the war beast's strength. This allows you to hit like a brick if you've got a really powerful war beast around. And every warlock's favorite healing spell, Psycho Surgery. Each model in this model's battle group, currently in its control area, immediately heals D3 + 1 damage points. This spell can only be cast once per turn. This is an amazing spell if you have one or more war beasts that you don't want to put Fury on for healing. It allows you to get them back up and running, especially if you don't have something else to do the healing. And as I mentioned before, Dr. Arcadius's feat, which is Monster Mayhem. War beasts in Dr. Arcadius' battle group can immediately frenzy. A model can frenzy even if it has already activated this turn. It does not affect whether it can activate later this turn. Basically, it just means all of your beasts get to make one charge or just a boosted attack and damage roll against whatever they are nearby. One thing to be certain before you use this is that your beasts aren't next to each other, because they will quite happily frenzy on each other, and that is not good. So that is Dr. Arcadius, a little bit about what he does and a little look at his model. And that has been what's in the box for Dr. Arcadius.